Okay, so I'm really glad you're here with me today. Let's get started. We're going to come all the way down onto our backs to get going. So once you're all the way down onto the floor, move your feet away from each other and allow the toes to just relax to the outsides. So the legs will relax. And then get your shoulder blades tucked under. So I like to rock side to side on the shoulders and tuck one under, and then tuck the other shoulder blade under. And then place the hands comfortably on the belly or the rib cage, whatever you like. And let your eyes come closed. This brief moment to slow everything down and allow for integration of body and mind. And then keeping that breath awareness, slowly bend up your knees. Wrap your hands around the knees and pull them in toward your chest. And then place your hands on the knees and open the knees wide apart. Keep the knees wide apart. Straighten the legs out into a straddle position so the legs go wide. You can hold on to the backs of the legs. Bend your knees again. And draw your knees back together. Land the feet onto the ground. Separate your feet to the edges of the mat. Move your knees from side to side. Drop your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. Reach your arms out away from the shoulders. Let your legs relax. Deep breath. Draw your knees back up. Take your knees to the left. Look to the right. Soft, even breath. Come back up to your center position. Wrap the hands around the knees and pull in. Bring your hands around the right knee. Extend your left leg out along your mat. Press your left leg actively into the floor and pull your right knee toward your right shoulder. Draw your shoulder blades away from your ears, or the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Extend your right foot toward the ceiling. Hold on to the back of your leg. Pull the toes down toward the kneecap to stretch the calf. Option here, keep the head on the floor, or tuck your chin, lift your head and shoulders off the ground, bring your nose closer to your knee. Do what you can to straighten into your leg, and then gently pull your leg into a deeper stretch. We're not super warmed up here yet in the hamstring, so we don't need a particularly deep stretch, but just start to feel a little bit of opening here in the back of the leg. Nothing too deep, and if that knee is still bent, that's perfectly fine. And then release. Lower your head and bend up both knees. Wrap the hands around the knees and squeeze in. Hands come around the left knee. Stretch your right leg out along the mat. Pull the left knee toward the left shoulder. Extend your left foot toward the ceiling. Hold on to the back of the leg. Pull your toes down. Option to keep the head on the floor or tuck the chin. Lift the head and shoulders off the ground. Pull your leg into a gentle stretch. And then release and lower that leg all the way down onto the floor. Awesome. Bend up the knees. Roll yourself up to an upright position into tabletop. Doesn't matter which direction you face, whatever works best for you. Come right into that tabletop position. We're going to grip the hands strong into the floor so you're solid in your base, hands and feet into the floor. Begin into your cow-cat stretching, rounding and arcing the spine. So we smoothly move through the spine. Exhaling as you round, push the air out of the body. Inhale as we look up, draw air into the body. Keep going a couple more times. Find as much range of motion as you can. And then release back into that tabletop position. Walk the hands forward a couple of inches, very small movement forward so the wrist is a little bit in front of the shoulders. Then curl the toes under. Push the hips back to the heels with the knees still on the ground so you feel a toe stretch. Shift your weight from side to side. And then release, come back off those toes, point the toes back, tap the tops of the feet into the mat. Then release, hold the feet in place, curl the toes under, get the hands strong into the floor once again, lift the hips up into your downward facing dog pose. So still working on stretching out the backs of the legs. We can get a little more active here, starting to warm up the legs, bending and straightening, walking the legs out. Remember in this exercise, the tendency is to let the weight come forward toward the hands. Your job here is to stretch and move the legs, but also to move your weight back towards your legs and away from your hands. So that takes some effort. Try to feel like you're long in your arms. A couple more times with this pedaling action. Now lift both heels high. Squeeze your leg muscles tight. Pull the belly in, look towards your tummy. Good, nice strength work there. Lower the knees to the floor. Widen the knees and take your hips to your heels into your child's pose position. You can bring your hands under the forehead if you like, or let your forehead come onto the mat. Breath in. Breath out. And then release. Come on up into tabletop position. And then lift the hands off the ground into an upright kneeling position. Hands right by your sides. Pull the belly in firmly. Get tall and long through the spine. We're going to reach the arms out to the sides. The thumbs point up. Rotate to your left. Stay tall here. Once you've rotated, bring the left hand onto the back leg, the right hand up toward the ceiling. Look up. Arms back to parallel. Rotate the other direction. Your back hand comes onto the back leg. Your opposite arm comes up toward the ceiling. Stretch it out. And then level off the arms. Come back to center. Repeat it one more time. Rotate left. Left hand down. Right arm up. Twist. Look up. Arms back to parallel. Rotate right. Right hand onto the back leg. Left hand up high. Reach it up. Lower the arms. Come back to center. Both hands up high. Interlace the fingers, spin the palms toward the ceiling. Pull your belly in, push into the hands. Bring your hands behind your head. Open the elbows out wide, look up. Look forward, bring the elbows in close, round the spine and tuck the chin. Repeating that, open the elbows wide, pull the belly in, look up, arc the back. Looking forward, elbows in, round the spine, tuck the chin. And then release, hands by your sides. Sweep the hands all the way up, look up, stretch it out. Sweep the hands forward and down onto the ground. Lift up into downward facing dog. Feels fantastic to move the body around, stretch it out, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. And then look up and walk your feet into the middle of the mat. Walk your hands back to your feet until you're up onto your feet. Standing forward fold. Your options here, you can rest the elbows on the knees like I've done here, no problem if you need that little easier position. If the back feels okay, you can just drape the hands and lower all the way down. So your hands could also rest on the ankles. That could give you some support. Now, oftentimes I'll see people that will lock the knees out here. So see if you can soften the knees a little, even if you have to have your hands up a little higher. Now from here, just start to move the legs again, just like you did in down dog. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten. If you're not getting much of a stretch there, get the hands down lower. Drop your head. If this is too much for you, keep your hands up higher on your legs. And then walk the hands up onto your knees, bend your knees and look forward. So you're in this position here, kind of a semi-squatting position. Walk the feet out to the edges of your mat. So your feet are a little wider than the hips. We're going to look and twist to the left. Let your right shoulder dip toward the ground. Now look up toward the ceiling. And then switch sides. Twist to the right, let the left shoulder dip down. Look up toward your ceiling. One more time, back over to the left. And back over to the right. Come back to center, push all the way to standing. Reach the hands up high. Look all the way up toward the ceiling. Stretch it out. Squeeze tight through your lower body. Squeeze your glutes. Push your feet into the ground. Deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the hands down by your sides. Step up to the front of the mat. We're going to bring the hands down onto the floor, or you can use your block. If this is difficult for you, just place your hands on your block like I've done here. Either way, you're going to step the right foot back into a lunge pose. So your hands are on your block or they're on the floor. You do what works for you. Now we're going to just start to move forward and back. Now if you need an easier option, again, another thing you could do is bring the back knee to the floor. So maybe your movement looks like this. If that's not necessary, then the back knee is lifted. We're just moving forward and back. One of the best ways you can create flexibility in your body is with this type of dynamic movement, dynamic stretching. Forward and back, forward and back. Good. Now, step slowly back up to the front of the mat. Push all the way up to standing. Reach the hands up high. Lengthen it out, look up. And again, lower down, let's get the other side. So make those modifications like I was suggesting. Maybe use the block. We're going to step the left foot back. That other adjustment was bring the back knee to the floor. Start to move forward and back. So knee down or knee up. Either way works. This makes a huge difference if you get your hands off the ground. So do that if you need to. You could even set that block up higher like this. Makes this quite doable. Or hands to the ground if you're a little more flexible. All right, fantastic. Take little steps to return back to the front of the mat. Step, step, step up to the front of the mat. Come all the way to standing, reach up high. Lower the arms all the way down. By the way, if that's an unfamiliar movement, or if you're newer to this stretching thing, the lunging can be fairly challenging. So you definitely want to make modifications so that it's doable for you. But as you do more and more of this kind of work, the lunging will get easier, and it's a great indicator of mobility in your hips and in your legs and in your low back as well. Okay, so those lunges are a great idea to work on. Standing position, bring your legs wide into a straddle. Bring the hands onto the hips. And the first thing we want to do is really feel like the legs are lengthening. So use your muscles here. Squeeze your legs tight. Push the feet into the floor. We're going to hinge at the hips, coming halfway down. And then stop here as soon as you feel a stretch in the backs of the legs. Your chin is tucked slightly. And then come right back up. So we're feeling this lengthening happening to the hamstrings. Note where the attachment is in your hamstrings, the attachment up into the pelvis and down into the knee area. So as you come into the stretch, get a feel or a sense for that hamstring lengthening. And then come back up. So this is a good way to not get hurt. You don't go so fast. You don't try to find a certain position. All you're doing is feeling the stretch. And then come back up. Let's do it a couple more times. Down, feel the stretch, and back up. Last time here. And back up. Keep the straddle position. Arms reach up high. Look all the way up, lengthen it out. Squeeze your leg muscles. And release, lower the arms down. Good. Bring your feet in and bring your feet close together. So with the feet close together, we're going to really lengthen up tall through the spine. Feel your chest lifting. Take the arms high up overhead. We're going to stretch it out. Now from here, we're going to step the feet to hip width apart, no wider. Then side bend over to the right. Hold here. Try to keep your arms close to your ears and feel this stretching, opening through your left side ribs. Hold the position, see if you can lengthen through the ribs a little more. Really reach the arms out and over. One more deep breath. Feel how your breath helps you to create more stretch. And then release and come back up. Lengthen the spine. Side bend the other way. So we're opening through the rib cage here. Once you find the position, have the discipline to keep the arms close to the ears and then reach a little deeper until you feel more stretch. And then release and come all the way back up. Lower the arms down. Give yourself some shoulder rolls. Move the head and neck around as well. Awesome. Let's add to that last exercise. Arms up high. Lengthen it out. Side bend to the right. Your left hand comes behind your head or your neck. The left hand comes behind your back. Now here, you just see how close you can get your hands to come toward each other. You're still in the side bend, but you're just working on a little shoulder mobility by bringing the hands toward each other. Now from here, once you have this position, try to stay in the side bend, but press your elbows back and notice what happens there in the chest and the shoulders. Keep pressing the elbows back and back and back. And then release. Come on up. Hands up high overhead. Lower the arms down. Give your arms a brief rest. Maybe shake them out. And breathing in, arms high up overhead. Side bend left. Feel that good reach. Then place the hands. Walk the hands toward each other, behind your back, any amount. Don't force it, but do see if you can get your hands to crawl toward each other another inch or so. Then press the elbows back, and you're deepening through your side bend. So keep the upper back active. Keep pressing the elbows back. Strength work, but also flexibility here in the shoulder joint. And then release and come back up, both arms high up overhead. Lower the arms all the way down. With this kind of work, we tend to notice where there are imbalances in the body. This is useful information. Don't expect one side to be exactly the same as the other. Take your right arm, reach it up toward the ceiling. Lengthen up just as tall as you can. Bring your hand behind your head or behind your neck or maybe the tops of the shoulders. The left hand reaches across over to the elbow. Pull the arm back until you feel a tricep stretch. Now here we can find more stretch by not letting the pelvis jut forward. As soon as I shove the hips forward, I take a little bit of the stretch out. So try to keep your pelvis neutral, belly pulled in, then press the elbow back. Try to get a little taller, stretch it out here. Belly muscles are active, turned on, strong. Now maintain the position of your arms. Don't lose the work we've done in the arms. Hold it here. Put a little bend in the knees and then take a straight back forward fold. So it's kind of like a squat position. Sitting down, breathe, push back up. Look up toward the ceiling. Feel one more stretch through the shoulders. And then release. Lower the arms down. Roll it out. Head and neck movements. Awesome. Left arm up. Reach it up high. Hand comes behind the head, the neck, or the shoulder. Reach the right arm up, grab a hold of the elbow. Pull the elbow back. Strong in your legs, strong in your core. Don't shove the hips forward. Start to lengthen through the spine. Pull your arm into that tricep stretch. You should be feeling something happening right here, maybe all the way underneath the armpit. Then from here, we're going to soften the knees, take a straight back forwards fold. So you just put a little bend in the knees. It really is kind of a squat. Actually, I said forward fold. I didn't mean to say that. It's a squat, not a forward fold. So your back is still straight. Your arms are still in the same position. Push back up to the start. For one more breath, find a little more stretch. Look up. Keep pressing the arm back. And then release. Lower the arms down. Good. Shake it out. Man, I can really feel that. So awesome to get some mobility going in the shoulders and in the neck. Move your feet slightly wider than the hips if you hadn't already, so you have a solid wide base. Arms up high. Bend your elbows, bring your arms into your cactus position. Now here, draw the shoulder blades down the back and start to reach the arms back. So you just see what your shoulder blades are doing. I don't want the shoulder blades pinching against each other. When you pinch the shoulders together, it tends to make the shoulders shrug and just creates tension. So what I want you to think about is shoulder blades, or the tops of the shoulders down, but also the shoulder blades spreading a little. Then widen out the arms. So if we do this right, we should be able to keep an opening, a lengthening through the back, but also stretching here in the pec muscle and the deltoid, the front of the shoulder. Reach those arms back. Shoulder blades stay down, but shoulder blades stay wide. And then release, let the arms come down and roll it out. Move it around. Up again. Cactus position. Draw the shoulder blades down, open those arms out. This time, bring the arms in. Forearms together. Round the spine, look down toward the floor. Breathe. And reach the arms out. Now this time, With these arms nicely warmed up, we're going to bring the hands all the way behind the back, interlacing the fingers if you can get that hand hold. If you cannot interlace the fingers, just try grabbing a hold of one finger. Or you could even just grab a hold of your clothing if that works. So here we want to draw the shoulder blades back. And then for some of you, you may be ready to work on bringing the heels of the hands together. Then slide the hands down your back. Look up, open through the throat. Hold this position one more breath. Really work the shoulders back. And then look forward. Forward fold. This time let the back round. You can keep the hands on the tailbone, or if you'd like, lift the hands up and off of the tailbone. If this does not feel good to your back, then bend your knees and don't go down as low. Otherwise, you can let the head drop all the way down. Take your time coming all the way up. Release the hands back up high overhead. Stretch it out. Lower the hands down. Back to giant shoulder rolls. Move the head and neck around as well. We're going to do it again. Arms up. Open the arms out. Get those arms way wide. Then bring the hands behind. Get whatever handhold you can. Keep those shoulders drawn back. Down into forward fold. Option to lift the hands off of the tailbone, but as you do that, don't let your upper arms drop. Keep the upper arms lifted. Modify this if you need to. You can always keep the knees bent and you can look forward more. Otherwise, let that head drop all the way down. Breathing in, come all the way back up. Hands high up overhead. Look up, stretch it out. Lower the arms down. One last time for these shoulder rolls. I love this movement. One of my favorite things to do, just really getting the shoulders moving. Of course, adding the head and neck as well. We're going to return for our last stretch back to the hamstrings because we did quite a bit of warm-up work there. Let's take advantage of that warm-up work by going into a deeper stretch. So, front of your mat. Come into a split leg position, stepping the right foot back. 1 step, 2 steps. If you need to, you can take another third little baby step. So there is plenty of space between the feet. Now, again, you have options here, the same kind of options I've been talking about. If you need to protect the back, you just come forward and do a straight back position right here. However, if everything is feeling okay in the body, then you place the hand on the shin and you just let yourself drop down. Now, some people, their hands are going to be right around your shin. Others, the hands come down to the foot. Even others, the hand may come to the floor. Doesn't matter where it is. Whatever position you're in, feel your feet grounding into the floor to help your balance. Now, hold here and see if you can push weight back into the back leg. Drop your head down. Hold for another breath. Move your legs into a straight position. Then look up, lift your chin, lift your chest. You can walk the hands up your legs if that helps you. We're going to bring the hands high up overhead. Lower the hands down. Bend the front knee. Step it up to the front of the mat. Left foot steps back. 1 step, 2 steps, maybe add that 3rd step. Lengthen up and tall. First option, hands can stay at the hips or around the upper legs. Come down with a straight spine and stop right there. If the back feels okay and you want further, you can slide down into a full rounded back forward fold, hands around the knee or around the foot, or perhaps hands to the floor. Now, once you get in your position, play around with little micro movements. So maybe adjust the feet a little. Push the feet into the floor. Relax your head down. Can you squeeze your leg muscles? Make them active. Hold your position, breathing deeply. To release this, you can walk the hands up your legs. Take your time coming up. Raise the hands high up overhead. Lower the hands down. And step the feet back up to the front of the mat. Awesome, awesome, good work. Let's come back down all the way onto the floor. And we're gonna come all the way back down where we started onto our backs. So this time, let the arms come onto the ground away from the shoulders. Once you're settled onto the ground, let your eyes come closed. Now, what I'd like for you to do here in just this short period of time is a bit of mental work. I believe so much in the power of the mind to help us get where we want to be. And so in this particular case, we want to feel more flexible and have a body that's moving smoothly to maintain our mobility. So just take this moment to somehow reinforce this effort of this 30 minutes of stretching. We've created more flexibility in the body. We've created more circulation of blood flow in the body. And take this moment to feel good about what you've done for yourself. All right, nicely done. Take your time. Slowly bend up your knees. Wrap the arms around the knees and pull in. And then take your time rolling yourself up to your upright seated position. All right, everybody. Awesome, awesome job. So glad you joined me for this 6th day of stretch. I will look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Keep with it. The more we do this, the more flexibility we're going to get in our bodies. See you soon. Take care. Bye for now.